Welcome back to our module on the qualities and characteristics of Christian leaders. This is now number 5. In the last 2 sessions, we've been looking at some basic character qualities important for Christian leaders to foster in their lives. We looked at an initial 6 of 10. Number 1, accountable. Number 2, authentic. Number 3, faithful. Number 4, honoring. Number 5, humility. Number 6, integrity. Let's conclude our list of 10. Number 7, loyalty. A 7th character quality is loyalty. Loyalty is the state of being loyal and is regarded as allegiance, faithfulness, or support for a person, group, or cause. In regard to leadership, loyalty is a character quality we must nurture if we are to be trustworthy, dependable, and seen as a team player. Loyalty is primarily outworked in a relational context. In other words, our loyalty is displayed in our relationships. Loyalty is not a feeling, it is a choice. We won't let others on the team down. We choose to be loyal in good times and bad times, in tough times and great times, in times of growth and in times of decline, in times of peace and in times of attack, and in times of consistency and in times of change. Now, of course, there will inevitably be differences among those with whom we serve, but there must never be disloyalty. Disloyalty can be seen in a number of ways: a breach of confidentiality, a betrayal of trust, a breaking of solidarity, or a disregard of friendship. Loyalty has multi-directional expressions across the organizational structure of our church or organization: upward to our leaders, across to our fellow team members, and downward to those that we are leading. Let's be loyal. Number 8, teachable. An 8th character quality is that of being teachable. By definition, teachable means the ability to be taught or to learn. But teachability in a Christian leadership context is not just our aptitude, that is, our capacity to learn, but our attitude, our willingness to learn. I've met some leaders over the years who weren't teachable. They were know-alls. Their attitude was, heard it all before, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. Unteachable leaders are inflexible, dogmatic over unimportant things. They major on minors. They get stuck in a rut and are often not open to new things. The problem wasn't their aptitude to learn, but their attitude. They didn't have a teachable spirit, a willingness to learn or a willingness to change. And because they were unteachable, they became locked into a style or pattern of leadership that limited them. And they kept repeating an old paradigm of leadership that was no longer current to their cultural context. As a consequence, they plateaued, became irrelevant, and often became critical of anything new or different. I don't want to be like that. I want to keep growing. So we must remain teachable. Being teachable has a number of applications. Being teachable at its base level is a desire to learn specifically about leadership. Leaders are learners. Leaders are inquisitive. Leaders choose to grow. We realize we have so much more to learn to be a great leader, so we proactively apply ourselves to learn. Being teachable also means asking the right questions to gain understanding. The disciples regularly asked Jesus for explanations for the things he taught, such as the parables. In Matthew 13, verse number 36, it records how they asked him to explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field. At other times they asked him, Lord, teach us to pray, and what must we do to do the works God requires? If you don't know, please ask your leaders or others in leadership. This expresses teachableness. Further, being teachable means being open and humble to receive correction, a loving rebuke, words of instruction from the wise, or a note of caution. Many of the Proverbs encourage us to listen to such words because they will help us to become wise, experience victory, and gain understanding. Proverbs 19, verse 20, for example, exhorts us to listen to advice and accept instruction, and in the end you will be wise. Some proverbs tell us to give attention and appropriate consideration to admonition. But Proverbs 12 verse 1 says that if we despise or disregard correction, we're unwise. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 1 says that a man who remains stiff-necked after many rebukes will suddenly be destroyed without remedy. Words from a leader or someone close to us on the team may initially sting, but in the long run will do us good if we learn from them. Don't take offense or become bitter or antagonistic at such words. Process them, learn from them, grow through them. A final application is that being teachable can also mean coming to the realization that, for example, the way I've been doing certain things or my attitude toward a person or my style of leadership may be wrong. Being teachable means being adaptable, flexible, and willing to change. This thought is captured by Jesus when he responded to the question, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven, by saying, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself like a child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Let's be like an impressionable, malleable, inquisitive child and listen, learn, and change. In the next session, we'll see that one of the qualities of more senior leaders is the ability to teach. But how can we be a teacher unless we are teachable? Let's be teachable. Number 9, trustworthy. A ninth character quality is that of being trustworthy. Most definitions of trustworthiness describe it as a character quality which gives other people confidence or a firm belief in our honesty, integrity, transparency, ability, or reliability. Being trustworthy means that we can be trusted. In practice, this means that we'll do what we've committed to do and we'll do it capably, conscientiously, and dependably. It means that our character, behavior, and integrity is consistent with Christ-likeness and biblical principles, both in public and private. It means that we say what we mean and mean what we say. Trust takes time to build and earn, but it can be broken in one of two ways. First, it can be instantly broken by a breach of someone's ethics, integrity, word, or by their dereliction in fulfilling a vital responsibility. Or secondly, it can be, to use Sam Chan's words, slowly eroded by countless relatively small but abrasive comments or actions that undermine a person's credibility, character, or competence. So let's be trustworthy. Number 10, last one, truthful. A 10th character quality is that of being truthful. What does it mean to be truthful? Well, naturally, this means that we do not lie. Not only because lying is a sin and wrong, but that lying is the devil's native language. More subtly, being truthful also means that we do not fabricate or embellish a story to aggrandize ourselves. Further, truthfulness necessitates that we do not abdicate personal responsibility or apportion blame to someone else to avoid incrimination or confrontation. This also means truthfulness in official documents such as our application forms, our employment interviews, and in bearing witness. In respect to our relationship within the Christian community, we're implored in Scripture to speak the truth in love. This has applicability to our team relationships and towards those who lead us and we lead. Now notice that Paul did not just say, speak the truth. Otherwise, this verse could be used as a spiritual disclaimer or immunity to be offensive, critical, or judgmental. Importantly, Paul added the moderating words, in love, so that it reads, speak the truth in love. The qualifying words, in love, require us to ask questions such as, is what I'm about to say spoken from a motivation of love? Are these words for their good and to build them up? I'll conclude this point with a few pointers on how to speak the truth in love. Say only what needs to be said, nothing more and nothing less. Say it because you mean it. Say it with the right motive. Say it with the right attitude. Say it with the right tone. Say it in love. And be as quick to listen as you are to speak. Be truthful. Now finally, please remember that none of these character qualities are possible without the work of God's Spirit in our lives. He is at work within us to develop these vital character qualities. So in summary of these 10 representative character qualities, we've looked at number 1, accountability, number 2, authenticity, number 3, faithful, number 4, honor, number 5, humility, number 6, integrity, number 7, loyalty, number 8, teachable, number 9, trustworthy, number 10, truthful. And that's the end of this session. I look forward to seeing you next time. God bless.